Hey everyone, welcome to Crapgamer Reviews. I'm the Crapgamer, and this is a top 10 list of reasons to buy an Xbox One instead of a PlayStation 4. And these aren't subjective reasons either, so I could have easily picked a reason like the exclusives, but that's completely subjective, so I left that off this list. Instead, I decided to go with true, factual reasons why you should go with the Xbox One X instead of the PS4 Pro. Well, there could be some opinion in here as well, because I am the Crapgamer after all. First off, 4K Blu-ray player. This one's pretty obvious, but both Microsoft and Sony are trying to sell their consoles as 4K entertainment systems, but Sony decided to not put a 4K Blu-ray player in their console, while Microsoft, of course, added a 4K Blu-ray player to both the S and the X. So I think once you've actually seen a 4K Blu-ray on a 4K TV, you get what I'm talking about. That looks so much better than anything you can stream or download and then play. It just looks much better. The performance is much better. Next up, it will play every third-party multi-platform game better. You heard that right. Every game. Even if it doesn't have a patch to specifically support the Xbox One X, just the fact that it's so much more powerful means that games will perform better. Which means even if they're both equal in terms of what the developers do, you're not going to get frame rate drops and things like that on the Xbox One X version, because it's just going to be beefier hardware. So I think people need to take that into consideration, because most of us play multi-platform games like 98% of the times. Next up, looks. Of course, this is my opinion, but the Xbox One X just looks so much sleeker than the PS4 Pro in my opinion, and I just like that look so much better. I know that people made a big deal that the PS4 looked better than the original Xbox One design. Now all of a sudden that kind of stuff doesn't really matter, but in my opinion, the X looks much better than the Pro. Next up, ability to do 4K high resolution textures and assets. That's right, only the Xbox One X can do this, the PS4 Pro cannot. The easiest way to explain why this is, it's due to the actual memory bandwidth in the Xbox One X. And so if you didn't know, what that entails is like the memory bandwidth is much higher in the Xbox One X, and so that enables it to actually read these high resolution textures faster and upload them and things like that. So the more memory, the more high resolution textures the GPU can quickly access at any given time, increase in performance. So that is very important. So the Xbox One X has 326 gigabytes per second, while the PS4 Pro only has 218. That's a huge advantage for the Xbox One X. Next up, native 4K games, specifically first-party games. So first-party are making all their games native 4K, right? And then when you look at the PS4 Pro, you know, that's not the case. Even their flagship series like Gran Turismo and Uncharted, those games aren't able to achieve 4K, and that's a bit of a shame. If you're going to have a 4K gaming console, have your games at native 4K. And I'm not saying all of them have to be or mandate that, but the fact that Microsoft has their entire first-party lineup, including their games that are already released, like Killer Instinct, Halo, Forza, these games are all going to be native 4K. That's huge. And even looking forward to the other games, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, Super Lucky's Tale, Forza Motorsport 7, all native 4K, people. Next up, backwards and forwards compatibility. This is huge, because this means that you don't have to fear picking up an Xbox One X. Oh, there might be another console in 2 or 3 years. Even if that were the case, your X is still going to work with all your games, all your controllers, all your peripherals, every single thing. Original Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One games. That's what it's all about. And I think that people really are going to adopt this and love this going forward, because it's a great idea. Next up, the ability to capture video and screenshots in 4K HDR. That is huge. Think about that. No other console can do this. Right in the box, included, you're going to be able to capture 4K screenshots and share those with people. You're going to be able to record footage in HDR. That is phenomenal. Next up, you can actually stream games via like Mixer and things like that, 4K, 60 frames per second. Now, to get a 4K capture card, hundreds of dollars. But here we have an Xbox One X That's all included in the box, folks. Right out of the box, you can stream games 4K 60 if your internet will allow it. Mine won't, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of these streams in higher resolutions and stuff like that. Next up, it's SuperSamples Every Game. So in the PS4 Pro, developers have to develop that damn thing to super sample games, and so a lot of them don't. So with the Xbox One X, every single game, whether it gets a patch or not, super samples down to a 1080p screen. So let's say you have a 1080p screen and you want to play your games on the Xbox One X, they're still going to look better than they would on the S because it super samples it down. All your old games are going to look better as well. Your 360 games, your original Xbox games, no screen tearing, none of that stuff. You're going to get better frame rates. This is huge. This isn't the case with the PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro takes a lot more work for developers to do to achieve this, where you don't need to do any work whatsoever to achieve this on the Xbox One X because it is beast mode all the time, unlike the PS4 Pro. And last, but certainly not least, this is a huge reason for me personally, faster load times for games. And this is due to the 50% faster hard drive as well as the faster memory in there. So take Shadow of War for example. They were saying that it takes over a minute, like a couple of minutes to load their world on the other consoles, but it takes only a mere seconds to load it on the Xbox One X. To me, that's going to be huge. One of the things I hate most about this generation is the load times, and they seem to have fixed that completely. Very exciting times. I'm super excited about this. I know you guys are too. Let me know what you think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.